Well, shit. Guess that movie killed me too.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to 31 Days of Horror. I'm Morgan Film Fan. Let's jump into some scares. The Screaming Skull is a film that was released in 1958, and this was recently put out by Scream Factory. And this is the kind of film that always catches my eye. Black and white, very gothic. The trailer caught me right away. Of course, I cannot help but not mention the infamous quote that this film is marketed by, where the producers apparently offered free burial services to anybody who died during the viewing of this film. Luckily, I was not one of those people. I'm still kicking, so I can talk about this film, and I love that gimmick. It's like literally says, we guarantee to bury you without charge if you die of fright during the Screaming Skull. So I'm sold right away with that, gothic kind of atmosphere and everything. But what we have going on here is basically we have this couple who's named Eric and Jenny. And Jenny is Eric's new wife. Now, Eric's previous wife, I do forget her name, but she had passed away in this estate that they were living in. It's a fairly decently big house. I mean, it's not a mansion or anything, but it's a very nice house. And they were living there, and then she died. Basically, she was in a greenhouse, and she was with this caretaker, I guess, named Mickey. And basically, there was a storm. It started raining, and she left the greenhouse. She slipped or something like that. She rolled down the hill, and then she basically drowned in this pond, you could say. And they found her body there and whatnot. So Eric remarried with Jenny and is bringing Jenny back to this estate. And she basically starts to see this skull. And this skull is basically appearing everywhere. She finds it, and then she tries to throw it away, and then it ends up in her room somehow, and then she throws it out the window, and it just keeps coming back over and over again. Very supernatural things begin to happen involving this skull. Mickey is a very strange character as well. I think he's a caretaker, but he's always popping up, and he's always acting strange, and he's always obsessed with the gravesite of the wife, because the wife has been buried in the estate property. And he's also very obsessed at the location of where she died. So he always has this in his mind. He's always lingering over the location and everything. And this skull just keeps appearing, and it keeps going more and more supernatural every time, to a climax where you actually have this skull with this ghostly creature. So there's the skull, and then there's this ghostly creature, and the ghostly figure, I should say, literally bounces around like a child skipping in an elementary school playground or something like that. It's just skipping about and everything. So a lot of scenes are just super comical and super goofy. I personally had a great time with this film because of its gothic atmosphere, and the whole goofiness and cheesy aspects didn't really bother me. But I don't think this film got overly praised. I know there's a special feature here by Mystery Science Theater 3000 where they just basically rip on the whole film throughout its runtime, so you can watch it that way. I intend to watch it that way at some point. But it was fun, and it's a very atmospheric film, and I like the skull. Everything involving the skull looks great. I think the skull itself looks great, and I think the special effects the special effects that they were able to do on the skull, especially for the time that this was made, is very cool. So you also have these two characters, Reverend Snow and his wife, who they just call Mrs. Snow. He's basically the local priest, and he comes around the state every once in a while. I'm pretty sure he was involved in the burial services of the wife. There's just a lot of over the top acting, especially from the woman who plays Jenny. Her name is Peggy Weber, and she's very over the top. Her screams and her yells and her fear and everything. She's almost like a Shelley Duvall character kind of thing. She actually, a lot of her character traits and her personalities reminds me a little bit of Shelley Duvall from The Shining. Um, but yeah, there's not a ton to say about this film because it's also a very, very short film. I mean, this runs at an hour and 8 minutes total. So that's the length of some episodes these days of like miniseries or series in general. So it does not overstay its welcome. It's in and out, and it gives its atmosphere. It gives its intention. It does exactly what it sets out to do. Apparently, kill people from fright. When you watch this thing, it's kind of ridiculous that they advertised it this way because this film is corny and funny, if anything, not petrifying. But hey, it's 1958, so different time. Maybe people viewed films differently back then and were a lot more terrified of certain things compared to today. But it's a gothic film with gothic atmosphere and a really cool looking skull and a lot of like supernatural elements that are really cool for the time, and it looks glorious in black and white. I think the cinematography is beautiful in this, and it looks great. It's shot great, and it's fun. It's a perfect throwback to an older style Halloween film that I had a really good time with. So I really enjoyed watching this. I really enjoyed experiencing it, and I'm glad I picked it up, and I'm glad I added it to this 31 Days of Horror. So that's today's film. That's today's review. Going back a little bit old school, but we're definitely bringing things more modern tomorrow. Already got the next couple days planned, so until then, keep it spooky. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan. Check out my other videos that I have this year and previous years. Glad to be doing this for the 5th time, or the 5th year, and I'm having fun with it. So until next spooky review, take care. Cheers.